Walters is back for another season as the official bar of the Nats Chat podcast. Walters is the best spot to go before and after home games, located at the southeast corner of Capitol and N Streets, right across the street from the ballpark.
And welcome to Nats Chat, along with Washington Nationals insider Mark Zuckerman. I'm Al Galdi, host of the Al Galdi podcast, and this is a special abbreviated version of Nats Chat. In the coming days, we'll be coming to you with the first of our 2026 Nats Spring Training installments of the podcast. As the first workout for pitchers and catchers at 2026 Nats Spring Training in West Palm Beach, Florida, is this Wednesday, February 11th. Yes, we essentially have arrived at Nats Spring Training. However, the purpose of this special installment of the podcast is to announce and discuss something very special that Mark is launching. And so, Mark, my friend, the floor is yours. Take it away.
Thank you, Al. First of all, I want to thank everyone out there who's reached out to me in the last couple of weeks as the word got out that with the Nats leaving MASN and starting their own TV network, that meant I was going to be unemployed and out of a job at the end of January. I really can't thank people enough for the kind words of support that they've sent me over that time. And I know the second question so many people have had is, what are you going to do? What's next? I've been working on this. It's kind of been a scramble to get everything put together, but I'm excited to announce that I am launching a new website that I will be owning, operating, writing to cover the Nationals. It's called Nats Journal. You can access it at natsjournal.com. It's through the platform Substack, which has become a very popular platform across a lot of industries, but especially in the journalism industry and even within the sports journalism industry here in recent years. And I'm excited to join that platform and offer what will be full coverage of the Nationals. And parts of it will look similar to what I've always done all these years. Parts of it may look a little bit different, but the most important thing is I'm going to be there. I'm heading down to spring training. I will be there for a good chunk of camp. I can't promise I'm going to be there for the entire spring. It's a little too pricey for that, but I'm going to be there. Hopefully in the end, it'll work out to about half of the camp, split up over 2 trips, and then right into the regular season. This is going to be a subscription-based site. You can access some of the articles without having to pay for it, but we'll be honest here, a majority of the articles will be behind a paywall. But I think the pricing is pretty fair and offers different, variety of options depending on what your situation is and your level of commitment. You can go monthly. It's only going to cost you $7.99 a month to do that. If you want to commit to a full year, the price drops. You can do that for $5.99 a month. Pretty good bargain, in my opinion, for what you're going to be getting. And if you do want to join, there's going to be a extra level tier, the founding members who can pay $149.99 to help support this and get this endeavor going. And I'm really hopeful and excited, a little bit nervous because you never know for sure how this is going to go. But I'm really excited to get started on this and cover the team the way that I want to cover it and the way I know you all want to have coverage of this team.
Well, first of all, congratulations. Second of all, I am very excited for you. I'm very excited to read this. I think it's going to be outstanding. I think it's going to do so well. I think you're going to kill it with this. So very pumped for you and what natsjournal.com can be. And, I think everyone understands by now this is the direction of sports media and media in general, right? Like legacy media, traditional media is dying. New media is rising. And what you're doing is a part of that. And, it's funny. I would say welcome to new media, but the truth is you are an OG of new media. You years ago, more than a decade ago, in a lot of ways pioneered what has become Substack. So you've done this before. You sort of laid the groundwork for this kind of a thing with what you had going on back in the day.
It's pretty crazy. It's been 16 years since that happened. It was February of 2010. Now, here's the bizarre part of that. The reason I found myself in that position, I used to work for the Washington Times. They decided at the end of 2009 to eliminate their entire sports section. Does that sound familiar to anybody right now? A Washington, D.C. newspaper killing its sports department. So I was kind of looking for what I was going to do. I decided to launch this thing on my own called Nats Insider. I really didn't know what I was doing, how it was going to work, or there was no real structure like Substack has now for setting this kind of thing up. And amazingly, I launched it right as Snowmageddon hit DC. 16 inches of snow Does that ring a bell? Anything familiar about what's been going on here for the last week or two? So maybe the stars are aligning here and telling me the time is right to attempt this again. Unfortunately, under a different name. I couldn't get the name again to Nats Insider, so this is going to be Nats Journal.
And we do want to make clear, Nats Journal is separate from the Nats Chat podcast. One thing is not impacting the other in terms of availability or frequency or anything like that. Nats Chat remains Nats Chat. I would argue that each will enhance the other. So I think there's going to be a nice, symbiosis going on here between what you have going on and between the podcast. But they are separate entities. And so we would encourage everyone to subscribe to Mark's Substack, subscribe to natsjournal.com at whatever level you're comfortable at. And we certainly want to encourage you to keep listening to Nats Chat. If you're not already subscribed to that, please do that. We appreciate the support so much. We're about to embark on season number 6 of this podcast. I think it is a minor miracle that the podcast has done as well as it has given the state of the ball club. But, maybe in some ways that's kind of helped us because we've had so much to get into in terms of the state of things, but they are two separate entities. It's like the Nats last season had a position player named Luis Garcia and had a reliever named Luis Garcia. Two separate people, similar, connected in some ways, but two separate entities.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. We do have different names, thankfully. If you come to natsjournal.com, you're going to see a link back to the Nats Chat podcast with all the new episodes you can get from that. We'll be cross-promoting. Definitely, I think this enhances both of our endeavors that we have going on. And I'll tell you, if there was any question about how interested and how much Nats fans care about this team, in spite of their current situation, I don't know how much you've looked at the numbers. Our last episode where we interviewed Paul Taboni about the Mackenzie Gore trade and so much else, that's our second most listened to episode ever. And the only one that got more than that was the day that Mike Rizzo and Davey Martinez were fired. And it's catching up to that. It may even surpass that at some point. I know that's not the kind of episode you all wanted to listen to. You'd rather hear about a team in a pennant race. But that confirms to me what I've already known. I think you've known for a long time. This is a passionate fan base that cares about this team, good or bad. And that's only growing. We've seen our numbers on the podcast grow over time. I am confident that there is a dedicated fan base out there that wants to read and hear about this team every single day.
Yeah. And, you referenced what just happened with the Washington Post. Nats fans, in my opinion, before the shutdown of the Post Sports section were underserved. Now more than ever before, I think Nats fans are underserved. And so I think there absolutely is a screaming need for you to be doing what you are doing, for us to be doing what we are doing with this podcast. And, we are very honored and privileged to do what we do, and we appreciate the support so much. And I think Nats fans all deserve gold medals for sticking with this team through all of this, for continuing to be so passionate about the team. We appreciate the support so much. And, this isn't false humility. This is a thank you to everyone for being there. And I know you guys will support Mark's endeavor. And like I said, man, I think it's going to be great. I can't wait to read it. A lot of great analysis, a lot of great content. And I would imagine you do something like this, it kind of takes you in directions you maybe don't anticipate, what you think now might be different than what it is, 3 months from now, so there's an excitement and perhaps an unknown in that regard as well.
100%. One of the great things about the original site that I did 16 years ago was I kind of went into it with an idea, and it turned into something way beyond that. That was not just about writing about the team and trying to help me find another job, but a whole community built up of fans who used that site to communicate with each other, to communicate with me. What I found was that fans could let me know what they were interested in, what kind of articles they wanted from me. And I intend to do that again. It's very nice to have that kind of freedom and direct interaction with your readership. It's kind of unique in this situation. You don't get that in a traditional media platform. So there's a whole lot of possibilities with this. I'm sure I'm going to be figuring it out along the way. I hope as many of you out there are willing to join me on this journey and see where it takes us.
NatsJournal.com, Mark Zuckerman Substack launching on Monday as Nats spring training is getting going, and the Nats Chat podcast back with you for season number 6, and we will have our first of multiple spring training installments in the coming days. We thank you for listening. For Mark Zuckerman, I'm Al Galdi, and we'll talk to you next time on the Nats Chat podcast.
Nats leading 3-1 as Schneider turns on the first pitch, hits it high and deep and gone. A home run to straightaway right. as Schneider turns on the first pitch of the inning from Ezekiel Estacio, hitting it out of the park for his 8th home run of the year, his 31st RBI, and the Nationals now lead it by a score of 4-1.